That's what I always say, that what is vision. So I have a very good story to tell you. While I'm addressing in Africa, and Nigeria is a country which is in Africa, and mostly people are there, like Pakistan. You know, we are also in a struggling country, and the situation in Nigeria and Pakistan is not that different, but still people can make difference. So I remember I was quite young at that time when I used to read about Nelson Mandela. I remember when I was reading his book, it was very exciting that for more than 20, 25 years, he remains into custody. And a day when he was asked that, okay, you are free, Mr. Mandela, now you can go to South Africa and you can lead your people. So he was very relaxed, and he was very comfortable. He said, what are you guys are talking about? I have been living here for so long, and I can't go right away. Give me some time. And he took a couple of days, and then when he was leaving that place, he got a lot of documentation and papers and the blueprints and all of that things are along with him. So the jailer asked him that, what is this, Mandela? He said, this is my new South Africa. I'm going to change my country. And what do you think, that I was sitting here for 20 years and doing nothing? No, I've been planning for the future of my country. I've got my own vision. I've got my own education plan. I've got my own developmental plans. And then he stepped into South Africa, and finally in 1994, he won the election and became the first African, African president of South Africa after so long. And while he was being elected as a president, he nominated his vice president, Mr. F.W. de Klerk. He was the deputy president of South Africa along with the president. And he said, you have been running this country, and I can't lead this country without your support. So when I read this kind of things, it gives me a lot of knowledge and motivation that what kind of leader is he? He has got a vision for his people, he's got a thinking for his country, and he's got a plan to move on. Then I've got another story, and because after vision, I believe that motivation or motivator is a great leader. So when I come back into motivation, that story basically started from the same country, South Africa, but it ends into the part where I live today, that is Pakistan and India. And that was a time when Mr. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Mr. M.K. Gandhi, was traveling in a first class compartment, and he was going into Petersburg station, where a Britisher step in. And at that time, South Africa was also a British colony, and India was also a British colony. So he said, hey, you a bloody Indian, what are you doing here? He said, I've got my first class ticket. I'm a barrister. I'm traveling. He said, no, you are not allowed to sit in the first class because you're Indian and I'm Britisher. Get out from this chamber. But he refused. And then Britisher ordered his orderly and pushed him off from the train. And he was fall down over the platform and train start moving. And that was a very discouraging moment of his life, that a highly qualified barrister was fall over the platform and the train started moving, and he felt that this is what you are, this is what you are here, and you are not having an independent country, so you are totally dependent. So he stood up and he motivated himself that, okay, the way you throw me out from this, one day I'm going to kick you out from India. And that happened. He came to India, he worked in South Africa for some time, and then he moved to India and set up a Congress and then Muslim League later on. And finally, in 1947, then India and Pakistan came into being. So look at these two great examples, that what a visionary guy can do, what Nelson Mandela has done in South Africa, and what motivation can do. That's what we saw in the South Asia, and that is India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. And the third point, which I also strongly believe, is passion, because I believe that a leader can't move forward until unless he is not a passionate. So I've got also picked up here a small story of Mahathir Mohamad from Malaysia. That is a Far East. So what I try is to kept Africa, Asia, and Far East so that you guys can have an idea that how a single word can turn around a life of million of people living into any continent or any country or any city. So Mahathir Mohamad used to study as a medical doctor, and that was a time when in Malaysia, it was the society was divided into A, B, C class. Like people who belongs to A class, they can travel to any area of the city or the country. But the people who belong to C class, they were not allowed to travel to the A class and upper class areas. But doctors and lawyers was given a privilege that even they're living in a C class area, but if they have a medical degree or a legal degree, so they can go to A class area. So when he graduated as a medical doctor, he was given a privilege card that you can travel around the city and you are not prohibited to move into any part of it. He turned it off and he said, "No, thank you very much. I don't need this privilege card because I'm going to work hard and going to make my entire country a privileged country." And then he worked day and night and he brought a great success, super success for the Malaysia. And today, Malaysia among the developed countries, and he continued to rule for 23 years. So, if you look at it, the vision, motivation, and passion being three words are here. But personally, for me, these are not three words. These are the direction that gives you that how you can bring the faith and a success to your nation and to your country. When I look at Pakistan, when I look at Nigeria, when I go to Rwanda, when I go to Zaire, when I go to underdeveloped countries and the frontier countries like what is happening in Afghanistan, in Yemen, then I always notice that how we can change people here, what we need to do for them. And I'm very, very pleased to see the progress that the Chartered Institute of Leadership and Governance are performing in Nigeria chapter. And I'm really thankful to Dr. St. John and Gloria for organizing such kind of events. I think this is the best way of moving forward. And this is the true way. The only thing that can impart people between the wrong people and the right people is education. And I think the dissemination of education is going to be detrimental for the success of any nation and for any country. So I request you that not to stop this kind of events and do continue because this kind of events always brings some kind of stories, and any story can encourage anybody who can move forward and do something different to the world and to their country. I've got a last story, is a very, very small story that basically covers the entire 3 points in that story. That story is from a Munjal family that owns the Hero motorcycle manufacturing in India. This family used to got in joint venture with Honda, and they used to produce Hero Honda motorcycle in India, and they were the largest producer. And they keep on growing and growing and growing. In 90s, the owner of the company decided that why don't we set up the world's largest motorcycle manufacturing plant in India? And they built it. And one day they invited the chairman of the Honda company from Japan, and he inaugurated the plant. When he saw the plant, he was very thrilled and excited because it was an outstanding plant in Japan. So while he was visiting the plant, he requested that why don't you give me opportunity to work for global to work globally for Honda? But the Japanese chairman refused that no, sorry, we have got our own plants global market. We will not allow you to go global. And that was a very disappointing moment for the owner of Hero manufacturer, that how we going to grow. So after the departure of the chairman of Honda company, he sit with this all directors and he said, what we going to do next? Because yes, in 1970s and 80s, the name of Honda for us was a growth and success. But today this name of Honda is stopping us to grow. So all the directors and the managing director decided discontinue Honda business, and they went to Japan and requested that please, we would like to discontinue this JV with you, and we wanted to continue as Hero motorcycle manufacturer. And they started competing Honda globally, and today Hero is the largest motorcycle manufacturing company in the world. So how you can change your life and how you can change your nation by only challenging yourself. Your challenge, your competition is not with others. You are not competing with anybody else. You have to compete with yourself. And if you're going to compete with yourself, so it means that the future is there. The only thing that I would like to advise everyone listening to me all around the world is that if you wanted to change this world, please try to improve yourself every day. You learn things from other people, you learn things from your kids, you learn things from your wife, your family, your colleagues, your offices, and keep on learning, because learning is going to bring change. And I always says that change, otherwise change will change you. So the people who are ready to change, the people who are ready to diverse, the people who are ready to hard work, the people who are loyal, they always bring a great leadership to the world, to the company, and to their life. With these words, thank you very much for patience listening and sharing and listening my stories, my views about leadership, and the leadership that can be won the hearts of the people. I am available here. You are welcome. If you have any questions or any ideas, sir, I'm with you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. It was an honor listening to you, sir. And with a resume like yours, no wonder you're actually taking us on global leadership. Your speech this afternoon has actually, for me, motivated me. Thank you, everyone, for listening. To recap what Dr. Syed said, there are three qualities of leadership. First, you have to be visionary, you have to be motivated, and you must be passionate. Without these three, it will be very difficult for you to be a good leader, because you will need, first of all, to know where you are going to before you can lead others to where you want them to go to. Now, knowing where you want to go to, you should also be a motivator. You know how to let your people know how we intend to get to where I have seen us getting to. Without motivation, the people and the vision you have would not come to fruition. But when you have the spirit of motivation and you have seen where you want to take your people to, you can take them there. Outside that, again, you need to be passionate about your dream. If you have a dream and you're not passionate about it, anyone can sway you out of it. I like the Mandela story, because when he was released, he said they asked him, what are you holding there? He said, the new South Africa. Meaning, while he was in prison, he had seen the South Africa he had fought for, and he was ready to go out and bring out the South Africa he always had been seeing in that prison cell. Now he was ready to build the South Africa. Now he had people who he was ready to work with. Because he was passionate, he kept on picking people with the belief that one day he would leave that room and build the South Africa of his dream. Be passionate about what you do, and that vision will one day become a reality. Now, he said, if you want to change the world, as leaders, daily we need to improve ourselves. I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Shegun, because daily, every month, he gives us books. He sends out books for we as leaders on this platform to study. He is trying to get us to become the leaders he is seeing Nigeria will one day have. Now, we daily need to challenge ourselves, build ourselves, like Doctor said, to become who we want to see. Learning will change you. And in closing, he said, only people who are ready to change will become leaders. We need to learn how to change and to challenge ourselves. Now, if you have a question, you can raise your hand. Our guest is still here to ask a question. But I have a question for you, sir, being a global leader. Now, what are some of the major challenges of global leadership in the 21st century? I know a lot of countries, their needs and their wants vary, but primarily there would be challenges that globally as leaders in this 21st century, we are faced with in our workplace, in our homes, in schools, in our lives. Now, can you help us bring that out to light? And with your wealth of experience, how can we tackle some of these challenges as leaders?
Okay. Okay. That is a very nice question, and You sum up it very beautifully. You bring entire discussion in a few minutes. Fantastic for that, Gloria. The challenges. Yes, this is a serious challenges to the global world, and we are into different kind of challenges. The number one challenge today at this point of time that the global world is facing is the pandemic. That is, Corona is there, and which has changed the pattern of economic sense globally. So I think that the leaders of the global leaders should think how to work along with this pandemic and how to design the working environment, the people environment, that nobody should be economically hurt, because most of the industries has economically hit by the pandemic. And now the responsibility of the global leadership to bring the sustainability for the people who were hit, like travel agent, hotel industry, restaurant industry, tourism industry, were totally hit by this pandemic. People are almost on the ground zero. So this is the greatest challenge that the world leader are need to face. That's the foremost and urgent. Number two, the global leadership should look into it. That is the global warming. That's very challenging. You know that global warming is going to kill the entire world, and every day the temperature is rising. And if we're not going to do globally something together, believe me, one day we're going to hit our kids, and our kids, those are very young, are going to pay the cost of it. As I said, that pandemic is basically the cause of biological war. That is another challenge. So we have to learn what is biological science and how to cater this biotechnology and try to avoid the disadvantages of biotech. And lastly, but not the least, that is the the biggest challenge. Another biggest challenge, which is the third biggest challenge in the world, is a cyber crime. So the cyber crime, global warming, and biological war. If you look at these three things, these are the greatest and the biggest challenge of the today's leadership. And I already suggested in a different forums that the world should come close. And I think that Mr. Ban Ki-moon, again, he's from Africa, by the way. And sorry, Ban Ki-moon is from Korea, Seoul. Kofi Annan was from Africa. And he started this idea of sustainability, which Ban Ki-moon continued, and today he is basically in Yonsei University, Korea. He is working on the sustainable goals target to save the world. Warming, we have to protect the people from cyber crime. We have to uh, beat this pandemic. So if you look at all this together, so yes, the global leadership also facing a lot of challenges. And I think that the 7 billion people of the world with greatest leaders can definitely fight it back, and we can defeat all these issues, inshallah.
Thank you very much, sir. With the pandemic, global warming, and cybercrime, um, I see that the global leadership challenges in this 21st century are one and the same. But there is one presently hitting the globe, if I may say, that is the issue of with the pandemic, the vaccine.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are kicking, some people are kicking against the vaccine because they said it does not prevent you from getting the virus. Now, if it doesn't prevent you from getting the virus, why would a government, why would they insist on you having the vaccine? Now, that's one debate. And another part of the globe is saying, no, we want the vaccine so we all can be free. But if I have the vaccine and I'm still not free, that is an issue in the 21st century where people are being restricted from movements and all of that because they've not had the vaccine. And it's another issue right now.
Yes, you have raised another. I'm very happy that you keep a very strong eye on the current affairs and the situations going around. Uh, because being a pharmaceutical guy, and then
Yeah.
I've been in the industry for 30 years, and from US to Kathmandu, I have met a lot of scientists, research scholars, R&D centers head. Personally, personally, please, being an educated person, being an educated society, we should not say that we should not get vaccinated. The only answer is vaccination. You see that we are living into 21st century, and in this century, we are expecting more problems to come, and viruses are getting more harder and difficult to face in the future. So uh, please try to spread in your country, please try to spread people around you that go and get vaccinated. And please do not compare that vaccination is not important. The data has already proven that only 1% people being having serious consequences, those are vaccinated. And if you are not vaccinated, you are in trouble. Luckily, in Pakistan, we have already vaccinated 40 million people. Beside that, we are a very poor country, but we have done 40 million people vaccinated. Our total population is 220 million. And 100 million people we're going to get vaccinated by the end of this year, which means that we're going to develop a herd immunity in Pakistan. And that's the greatest achievement by the government of Pakistan. I'm really amazed that we have done much better than India, much better than Bangladesh, much better than Nepal, Sri Lanka, and other neighboring countries, even much better than mostly African countries, even some Arab countries also. Uh, so I think that we have taken the lead, and the government and the public work very hard to support to create the vaccination environment in Pakistan. And now the vaccination level goes down to 18 years young boys and girls. Even I am vaccinated, my wife is vaccinated, and my 18 years daughter is also vaccinated. So I am the pro vaccination guy. It is not that I'm not producing vaccination. I have not yet started. Well, I'm working on a booster, and very soon we're going to launch a booster in Pakistan from Searle platform. But beside that, I'm a strong believer that if the disease are getting serious, so medicine should also get being serious. So please take the treatment seriously. Don't make it a joke. It is not a joke. I'm not going into the conspiracy and the discussion that what was the real cause of this biological war, or Chinese, or American, or European. But yes, at the moment, Corona is there, COVID is there. So this is important that we should get vaccinated and try to treat ourselves and save the environment and save the people around.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Being a member of the Pharmaceutical Association, definitely your knowledge on the importance of vaccine in this 21st century is a welcome idea. Please, members, if you do have a question for our guests, you can do well to unmute yourself and ask your question, or indicate by raising your hand so he can answer your questions. But one last question for you, sir, from me. What do you have to say concerning the narrative that some individuals are born leaders with the
Yeah.
talents and everything, and you
Mm,
can
mm,
identify them and pick them up and put them in roles, and they will fit those roles? How
mm.
true is that, given the 3 points you gave out concerning a leader, which is vision, motivation, and passion? How would that come in?
So, as I said, that there are more than 25 capabilities that a leader possess. So, but out of this 25, I believe that the three are the most important. As I said, vision, motivation, and passion. I believe that these are very strong. Just like uh, when you say, what is motivation? So I always answer that for some people, respect is motivation. And for some people, punishment sometimes is also motivation. But money is the biggest motivator now in the global world. So uh, what my point of your question is that when the leadership is there, and he tried to study these 3 points more in detail, try to gather the data of the world leadership, he will find that these three areas and 3 points you will find in the top 100 leaders. If you list down top 100 leaders, they must be definitely the great visionary people. They must be definitely a passionate people, and they must have the quality to motivate people to take them from one point to another point. Without this three quality, I don't think so that anybody can be a great leader. To become a great leader, you should have this quality, or you rather should practice this quality, so you become a great leader.
There's a
Yeah.
lady's hand up, and I want to take a lady's question. I would like to call on Mrs. Olabukola to please unmute herself and speak, ma'am.
My question is, what do you do as a leader, as a world leader? For instance, in this pandemic thing that is happening or in a political setting, when you know the truth, you have your internal motivation and you're a leader and you want your audience or a lot of people believe in what you're saying. But then in the name of opposition or someone who doesn't just want success of the program, tries to lead against the truth. What do you do?
Okay.
I am a student for a leadership institute, Nehemiah Leadership Institute in Nigeria. I'm the governor of the class. And I like to really take this back to this group of leaders. How do you lead despite opposition? Professor Olubukola Oyawoye is my name.
It's very simple, a leader never get demotivated.
That's
You
nice.
see, you should never get demotivated. How much opposition you have, every day you have to get up with this new spark and with the new hope that today I'm going to change one person. You don't need to change so many people, Olikabolo. You need to change only one. If you are Olikabolo, I need another Olikabolo with you, not 2,000. But when you become two, it becomes 11. And then two will change 22, and then 22 will change 220. So don't get demotivated if you are a born leader. Every day you will get in a position. People will go against you. People will talk against you. People will do all the negative thing against you because you are the leader. You are growing. And nobody likes growing people. They wanted to pull your leg. They don't want you let to grow. So if you have a capability and quality, they try to demotivate you so that you stop your practice, which you don't have to. So when I go to the office, I've got 7,000 employees. I cannot change 7,000 people, but I have changed only 20 people. And those 20 people in my life are my buddies, and they help me to control the 7,000 people. So I'm telling you that one leader is better than 1,000 people. So you don't need to change so many people, but you have to change only few people. And if you're able to change few people, I think you can win the game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Just change a few and you will change the whole crowd. I would, Mr. Bode, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question, Mr. Bode?
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to appreciate Dr. Syed Ahmed for the group presentation. My question is this. I'm Dr. Olubodioke. I'm one of the members of the BOT in Nigeria. It is a saying popularly known that your principles and way of life will affect your leadership report sheet. How can we, in this present day leadership, build a purpose-driven leaders in view of what is happening in our environment today?
Shall I repeat your question first? That am I really getting your question right or wrong? So please correct me if I understand your question correctly. You are saying that in today's situation and today's condition, how how the leadership can develop a purposeful meaning and living of life, something like that you are asking, sir?
Oh, yeah, you get it.
Okay, this is the question.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You see, we are living into a very dynamic world where things are changing every day. So the first thing that I told you while I was addressing discussing with the audience that what we need is to do what leader actually does. The leader basically does is to provide them a chance to get change from their existing roadmap and from their existing practices, which they have been doing it for thousands of years. And that is the most difficult task. Therefore, I've been telling that if you have the vision that what's going to happen in next 20 years, and then you can motivate people to change. Because what we are doing today, we are trying to hear from you, and you are trying to hear from me, and we are trying to change ourselves. Today, definitely I'm going to get something from you guys, from your questions, and definitely you will get something from me. So this is a two-way of learning from each other and helping each other. Now you can use the leadership to a particular purpose. But before that, what you need is to develop the leadership first, which is the most important thing. So try to become the leader first, try to be helpful first, try to be supportive first, try to be motivator first, try to be a good communicator, try to be an open-minded guy, try to be a hardworking guy, try to be a visionary guy, try to be integral guy, try to be loyal guy. And if you establish all this, so then you can change people to the direction which you plan for. Like you can bring them a light, and then under the light, they can move ahead towards the destination.
Okay, thank you so very much, Dr. Syed. This is very, very important. As a leader, be what you want your followers to be. Be
Yeah.
the first. And they fall, when they see you do that, they become what you want them to be. But don't tell them to be what you are not. Now, that is not leadership, but leadership is taking the lead and let them follow you and see what you do.